Hey guys, we're live. We're live on YouTube this morning. I hope everybody's wide awake, bushy-tailed, watching. Um, Give us some likes, give us a follow on YouTube. Help us count that the numbers are slowly gaining. I want to say on the Facebook page, Iowa Hawkeye Sports. I want to say thank you guys for getting us to 4,000 people. I never dreamed we'd get that far. That's among some of the highest Hawkeye pages out there. I know there's some more higher, but there's a lot lower too. So thank you for making us your Hawkeye stop um, on the Facebook page. But we also don't want to forget Jason Hackwell's page, Everything Iowa Sports, and he'll be joining us here in a few minutes. I want you to check out our sponsor, Sensi by Terry. And her link is right there. As you can see, it'll be posted off and on throughout the broadcast today, and it will also show up in the description of the on YouTube later when we post it to YouTube. It'll be showing up on the description so that you can have it, so you can click it and link. But try out some of her great stuff. Okay, Paul. Here we are, the Monday after they lost to Iowa State.
Just came up a little short. That was all, Dean. We just came up a little short.
We missed a 47-yard field goal in a driving rainstorm that would have sent the game into overtime. If it had been last year, that we would have made that field goal. Well, then again, it was rain too, so maybe not. But I don't know if I have confidence in this year's field goal kicker of choice. As usual, Kirk goes with experience over talent, I think, sometimes. But he's 1 for 2 on the season. Oh, I'm sorry. He's 1 and 2 on the season on field goals made. And all of them were inside the 40. It wasn't like and for today's modern field goal kickers, that is Jason's getting on right now. That is a chip shot for most field goal kickers. I mean, most field goal kickers go out there, 47-yard, hit it easily. Mm-hmm. And it's just a fluke when they miss it. But, our field goal kicker, this is something different. I'm not bragging on our quarterback today. I'm bagging on our field goal kicker because we're going to need him a lot more. Obviously, the kicking game is important. The punting game is doing its job right now, and our gunners like Terry Roberts are getting down there trying to help pin people deep. So, and so I don't have a complaint with our punting game the way it is right now, but I am complaining about our field goal kicking game. And I think if he continues to miss, we have to look at Drew Stevens because obviously with the lack of offense we've got right now, I fully believe that we need to have our field goal kicking team. And I wish we had our field goal kickers from the last few years because those guys answered the bell. What else, Paul?
I see this as a glass half full kind of situation, Dean. I've had some time to reflect on this. I don't think things are nearly as bleak as they appear. Sure, I mean, the offense is technically dead last in the entire country, and but here we sit 1-1. We've got Nevada this week, and I know we're going to talk about that, coming up. But I mean, as we look back on where things stand the last two games, the offense has been exactly what we thought it would be, right? I mean, we're a little challenged at times, but we've gotten down there and just failed to execute. This is an execution problem. It's we've fumbled 2 times inside the 5-yard line. We like you mentioned, we've had some struggles in the kicking game. We're trying to do this, without wide receivers already been a position in Iowa that we've struggled with historically under Kirk. Kirk's teams here and there we've had a couple of guys, but overall the wide receiver position has always been a struggle. And now we're trying to do this without Keegan Johnson. We're trying to do it without Nico Organi. We're trying to do it without Brody Brecht, who we haven't even really seen from. But it's we're sending Spencer out there with, in a gunfight with a knife. He literally, we're asking him to bring a knife to a gunfight. The running backs, I think, again, so we've got, a running back fumble going into the end zone. We've got the fullback fumble going into the end zone. Overall, I mean, I don't think you can say, well, it's been play calling, right? I'm going to defend Brian here because I think the play calling's been fine. We've seen stuff where you could tell it was set up, even with the guys that we've got. We had the screen pass against South Dakota State it was there. It was a brilliant play call. It just wasn't executed. Against Iowa State, you saw a lot of that too. So, I'm. It is what it is here. I mean, we need to get some guys healthy, but I do think everything is fine. Everything is great.
And you're going to look like a genius if they come out and actually do some offense on Nevada this week, which I think they will a little bit.
Well, yeah, and that's what you're going to see, right? So the Iowa offense is going to come out just on fire against Nevada. I mean, we're going to put up a solid 14, 17 points in this one, against what could be, the worst football team. Certainly Iowa's going to play all year. I think we're going to see an offensive explosion. We might get to 7-8 first downs. It's going to be amazing.
Okay, so I got something coming up I was going to try to deal with here, but I'll wait for Jason to get on and let you two guys go, and I'll deal with it while we're on air. I don't. I'm at a loss right now because a lot of people are bagging on Ferentz and Brian Ferentz as well, and I'm kind of with you that I don't see what's wrong with Brian's play calling. It's there, it's not being executed. The quarterback's overthrowing or underthrowing receivers. We've had the one receiver. He's too easy to cover because he's really the only receiver we've got out there in Arlen Bruce.
He's been open anyway. He's been open a bunch anyway. We just can't throw him the football.
Missing him. Yeah. And like I said, I think he said he had 6 or how many targets did I say he had? 11 targets or something?
I think he had like 11 targets.
11 targets and he only caught 1.
Well, I mean, if you're counting anything that was thrown in his general direction a target, I mean,
right. And I said I can only count one of those being on him. The one he actually had one in his hands, and he couldn't hang on to it. But to his credit, he was draped by 2 defenders at the same time.
Right.
And so, but that's just ridiculous. That a guy could be throwing the ball 11 times and only get his hands on it once or twice because he actually caught one.
Right. Well, I mean, again, it's to me, it's execution. It's not play calling. I think Brian is doing a fine job. Again, we go back to the screen pass against South Dakota State. It was a masterful call. Against Iowa State, again, the play calling is there. Guys are getting open. You could see us trying to do some different things. We're not executing them on the field. And, every play caller looks like a genius when it works. Everyone looks like an idiot when it doesn't. And right now, I mean, there's no bread and butter for this offense, right? There's no, at least this is going to work. We can fall back, we can try some different things, but we know we can fall back on the inside zone, or we can fall back. Nothing is really working with any consistency. So.
Okay. As everybody can see, Jason Hackwell has entered the
Coach
building.
Hack.
You guys always start without me.
Yeah, we have to because we tell everybody we're going to start live at 7:45. I got to be.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like we got to be on time.
Yeah, I have family things I got to do, so it just depends on how everything works. If I can get there at 7:45.
Yeah.
But
guys,
yeah.
I'm going to mute myself a little bit right now. I got some business to take care of. Let you guys talk it out real quick and go for it.
How far did Dean give his opinion yet, or?
Yeah, he
Oh,
did.
he did.
He kind of went first, and you know, I as you kind of heard there, look, I'm kind of under the impression that things aren't as bad as they appear to be.
Yeah.
I mean, throw the numbers out. Right. I was saying earlier that look, we've got two lost fumbles inside the 5-yard line. We've got a missed field goal, chip shot field goal that you know, I'm not talking about the Iowa State, I'm talking about South Dakota State.
Yeah.
You know, there's enough things where if things hadn't gone sideways on a couple, 2-3, you know, we're having different conversations here. Yeah, the games are close, but we're talking about how great the defense is. You know, maybe the offense gets healthy this week against a bad Nevada team. You know, and you know, and they're going to have to. That the offense does have to figure it out a little bit.
Yeah, we can't keep having mistakes. I mean, like you said, I think it might be the only 2 times I was been inside the 5 this year. Right. They fumbled it both times.
Right.
I mean, that's just nuts. Like there's something. There's just something in the universe that's not right with everything that could go. And then that's the sad part is everything that could go wrong right now is going wrong. And they're still 1-1. The one game they lost, they should have won. I mean, easily. And they only lost by 3. It took a last second missed field goal for it to not go into overtime. So, I mean, as bad as Iowa's played, they're still right in it.
Yeah.
But Hunter Deckers did exactly what I said in pregame that scared me. It scares me in the future. I hope they don't find a receiver like X. X needs to go, and then I hope they don't find somebody because Decker's like we saw. He's accurate, right? And he doesn't care. He takes chances. 2 of his passes he just chucked up to let his receiver go get.
Yeah.
What was your opinion on that one sideline catch on 3rd and 8 where they didn't replay it? Iowa State did the smart thing and hurried up. Do you remember that play?
Oh, yeah, I remember it.
You think he was in? I never went back and watched it to really pay attention. Because it kind of looked like it was so close that you would think somebody would have stopped play.
Yeah, you would have thought, but
because wasn't that on the 99-yard drive or no?
Probably was. I mean,
that's what would make it a big deal.
I mean, I think, you know, that drive went like 60 plays in 27 hours. And I have I mean.
Yeah. And it went to like, I think they have 6 third down conversions. Like it never went to 4th down, but it sure went to 3rd down a lot. And
sometimes you got to tip your cap, right? Because Iowa State, you know, no, that's not Joe Montana's, you know, 49ers offense and whatever, but they're not terrible, right? They're pretty good offensive team. And, you know, the defense did a great job of holding them in check all day long, creating turnovers, blocking punts on special teams. Look, the recipe was there, right? I mean, literally what we talked about, what would have to happen for Iowa to win that football game, it all kind of came to fruition. What we didn't anticipate was another goal line fumble, which Iowa State had one too. So those kind of, you know, counter each other out a little bit.
Not only that, I don't think anybody could anticipate Petrus being as bad as he was either. I mean, think about his career completion percentage is like 57. This year, he's 46. And, like, I didn't sleep very well last night knowing this because I don't do well getting, like, angry in public type things, you know. I don't mind giving my honest opinion to friends, you know, with a deep voice, you know. But on here, so I didn't sleep well because I was trying to think I don't want to get angry as much as just talk about the coaching side of everything. Like just being honest about, because you should see some of the stuff I get about Padilla fans and Petrus fans. I have Petrus fans that get on me because I didn't do a Padilla video, but I did a Petrus video. The reason I didn't do a Padilla video was because I thought Petrus was going to take over, right? I assumed after his hard work, because if it's inside you, with all the hard work Petrus puts in, it's going to come out. I don't think it's inside him now. And we can't blame all the receivers because they're young. The balls aren't even close to them. I mean, this is what Kirk Ferentz has forgot more about football than I will ever know, right? He, as far as being, any part of football, I could probably teach him a few things on the passing game, but other than that, he's forgot more than I will ever know. But in this situation, now it becomes a locker room issue. Okay, this is kind of what I wanted to point out: is who cares, about the Petrus fans? Who cares about the Padilla fans? Now it's about the players and it's about Padilla. He came back thinking it was an honest competition. And there's nothing in those two games that say Padilla shouldn't get his shot to see if he improved. Right? His completion percentage was 50%. I dogged him for it, right? Which is coming into the year. I dogged him for that because he doesn't throw a very catchable ball. But who's to say he didn't work because he wasn't out in public? Because he's been with his quarterback coach for a long time, right? So he went and did some work. And so I want to see what he can do. And then if he proves to be the same as Petrus, well, then we know, right? Because last year, I don't care what anybody says, last year Petrus was the best quarterback of the two, right? But people get better. Petrus is proven right now he's not getting better. And people who've been are on me about, oh, we didn't go over the middle, blah, blah. He throws better over the middle. You can't, as a play caller, you can't continuously go over the middle if your quarterback is throwing high. Where was the interception over the middle that Petrus threw, right? The 3rd down and 4 play, the crossing route, drag route, whatever you want to call it, to Bruce. 3rd and 4, Bruce wide open over the middle, right in front of Petrus, and he misses him. Like it wasn't close. All those wide open out routes the whole game, everybody's like, all he's doing is attacking the sidelines because he doesn't want an interception. When you're the offensive coordinator and you want to see the backup play, right? And then you have this quarterback that all he's doing is throwing high regardless where the ball is going. It didn't matter. Petrus is going to throw it high. His release point, his grip on the ball, I don't know. Something is different. I wish I could sit there and work with him so I could tell him what he's doing because that is all fixable. But why isn't it fixed when he was with Rasiopi, right? So I just think he can't, like he just doesn't have a football mind, right? There's a lot of quarterbacks like that. I think you could teach him, but then every day is a new day, or every day is the first day, right?
Jason, I let you go on, man, but I can't have you bad mouthing Spencer, I am the man Petrus here, okay? Because this is just, look, what you don't understand is Monday through Friday, dude is amazeballs, okay? So I see him every day in practice. He's out there slinging it. He's throwing pinpoint tactical darts, right? Drilling between the numbers of, dude, Laporta has a bruise. He has a chest bruise because Spencer is throwing these darts right between the 8 and the 4 in practice. So
it was so hard for you to even get it out.
It is in him. Okay. So what we need to do right now is we need to rally around Spencer and the offense, right? They need a hug. Let's give them all a hug because it's the only thing we haven't tried yet. Has anybody is there one of those voodoo dolls? Is that what it is? Every time somebody has
a voodoo doll.
Somebody, I maybe perhaps there was a shaman somewhere or something where, I mean, there has literally been and they've cursed the wide receiver room and Spencer Petras. This is the only explanation I've got at this point. So we're going with it. It's the only reason we, and part of the spell is Brian and Kirk are stubborn enough to keep trotting him out there because, you know, they see it Monday through Friday. Sorry. Yeah. They see it Monday through Friday, right? They know it's there. So come Saturday, you know, I mean, somebody's got the pins and the voodoo. Oh, look at this. We're going to throw this one 7 rows deep, you know, like.
See, I mean, and that's it for me. Like, I just look at reality. Like, okay, we can all sit here and look at the reality of the stats, right? Oh, everything sucks. But when you actually look at the play call and look at the execution, when you have a receiver wide open and you throw it out of bounds over in the God's country because you want to give a football away, that is not on the OC. And when the OC is stuck because his boss is like, no, we're going with this guy. We're not going to change. Look, I every week I find out about some stuff that happened in the game, right? I get messages on my phone from people saying, like last week, you know, I heard all about the Padilla situation and all that, and Petras and Brian, and I haven't heard a thing. Like,
so my question is,
I haven't. So this
has a member of the media who is able to ask these questions, has anybody actually asked either Brian or Kirk who ultimately is making the call on who's under center?
Right.
You know,
I think honestly, I think the media that have almost undeniable access to all the coaches would probably lose the access if they actually ask that question.
Well, I think it's a fair question. I think they're scared to
ask the question, even though Chad Lysicle said in a group tweet, and I think Jason actually sees this too, is that he goes, I was tough on Kirk. I didn't see that.
Well, they're tough on Kirk the way Kirk would allow it to be tough, right? It's almost like politics.
Dude, Pat has made a comment today.
Yes.
I tell you, I like that guy. I love that guy. He's a good friend, and he awesome. Comes up with those zingers.
That is
Hi,
perfect.
Pat.
Right. But
Pat, let's just say real quick here. Pat was our Iowa State guy who came in for on Friday. Yeah, Friday. Yep. And I just want to say, Pat, congratulations. Your team got the monkey off their back, and that was a hell of a 99-yard drive.
Absolutely, it was. So you got to tip your cap to that. That was impressive. I mean, for a game that really could have gone either way, I mean, you got to just say it was impressive that they were able to put that together. Honestly, I thought after we fumbled there on the goal line and we had Iowa State backed up, I was still pretty confident in the situation.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, well, what are the odds that Iowa State's going to go 99 yards against this defense?
And they did.
If anything, I thought the odds were much more in our favor of getting a quick 3 and out.
Yeah.
Seeing some, being that we had already blocked 2 punts, I'm like, well, maybe they'll snap it over the punter's head. Maybe, a lot of things could have actually gone differently, but, got to give credit to Iowa State. They executed a masterful 99-yard drive. So,
yeah. Although I will say during that drive, Jason already mentioned it about that sideline catch. How they were able to go and do a quick snap so that the referee wouldn't have time to look at it. When we did it on our drive, we already had gone and snapped the ball and executed our play, and they took that away from us because, we got to go back and review the previous play.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was Big 12 officials, so I mean,
it was.
But
Honestly, for the most part, I thought even though they're Big 12 officials, I thought they were pretty fair in the game. I really did.
Yeah. And I'm not going to sit here and say that the officiating cost Iowa the football game. Not even close.
Not at all.
Although, I mean, if you want to combine that with, was it a fumble? Was it a touchdown? But no, at the end of the day,
there was no view right down the line, right?
Yeah.
Not a direct view, but the view I saw right away, I mean, the first view they showed, I go, that ball touched the plane. It touched the plane, so it has to be a touchdown. I mean, it was there, but it was there so briefly. But it doesn't have to be there. It doesn't have to be there. It just has to be there long enough for the ref to see it, which he didn't see it. But I thought, oh, they'll get it on replay. They will see it on replay, and they didn't see it.
Oh, I don't think.
See it. I'd like to say, Pat, if you're still watching, what did you think of that play? Did you think Iowa got robbed out of that touchdown?
I mean, I don't, because there was really no clear view in my mind.
Right. I mean, and because of the way they ruled it, I knew it wasn't going to be overturned.
Right.
Yeah. I knew it. I knew that it was never going to be overturned, but I think they missed it in the beginning, and I don't think because I don't know the refs weren't paying attention or what the deal was, but in my mind, it was a clear view. You just have to see that it was there, and then it was gone. Because
if they had ruled touchdown on the field, it would have stood too.
Yeah. What's that?
Yep.
Yeah, if they had ruled it a touchdown, it would have the call would have stood, and it would have been. They wouldn't have overturned it and said that it wasn't.
To the Iowa State's credit, the Iowa State players convinced the referees that it was a fumble recovery and never cost the plane. Of course, what are they going to do? But yeah, I mean. Actually,
it reminds you of 1984 Michigan State. Is anybody here old?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That's why the next year Chuck Long went into the end zone with a ball over his head. He wanted to make sure the referee saw
it. Yeah, right. But anyway, now where were we, Dean? You interrupted the whole thing with Pat.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to get that out there so you guys have a little fun with it.
Absolutely.
Well, we saw it. What point was I making? I don't even remember where we were now. But I guess what my thing is you can't. Oh, we were on the media asking Kirk the real questions. That's what we were on.
Right. Right.
Did he? I think that's kind of like politics situation where you're not allowed to ask certain questions. And that one would be one of them. Which I don't understand that because, I mean, it's clear and obvious Kirk has always, no matter who the OC was, picked the quarterback, right? Through his whole history at Iowa, we've always had issues when a quarterback's not successful. The one behind him actually can be, right? Jake Ruddock was a really good quarterback for Michigan, but for Iowa, he just wasn't. And it's probably the difference in the style of play. And CJ was better suited for Iowa's style of play. Right. And Brad Banks was Brad Banks, but he didn't know the playbook. But they had a package for him, right? Right. They knew how good Brad Banks was in 2001, that they had a package for him regardless. So, and then when you go through the history of Iowa quarterbacks, in these situations, this one's unique though because neither quarterback has shown anything, right?
This kind of reminds me. I think even Jake Christensen was better than what Petras has shown us this year.
This year, yes, yeah, because Jake could complete passes. He just took a lot of sacks because he cared about his completion percentage.
Right.
There is another theory that we haven't addressed yet either. Perhaps Spencer has some pics of Mary Ferentz. Maybe that's it.
Oh my God, you're reaching, buddy. You're reaching.
I don't think Kirk better not watch this, or
we're bad for fucking Iowa Hawkeyes. Mary's gonna get mad. Mary's gonna come after us.
Well, I'm sure they would categorically deny that, there are any of those pictures. And I'm only saying it's a possibility, right? I mean, we at this point the evidence shows, And the thing is, and we go back to this. This isn't a 2-game thing, right? So we're Iowa fans. We're not sitting here looking at a 2-game sample, going, Spencer's not the guy. We're looking at what's happened since the Penn State game last year, where we're up to what, 1 touchdown and 10 interceptions.
Oh my God!
But okay, guys, last year I was defending him because not only the O-line, but he was trying to play through some injuries. Like, honestly, I think we could have got better quarterback play if they'd have just let him on the bench until we got to the Michigan game and just let Alex Padilla play those games. Although I don't know. Because wait a minute, was it the Nebraska game that Alex started and had to be pulled from?
And because Padilla couldn't do anything in the first half. If you remember that, it wasn't until the second half, Iowa's offense, Petrus threw for 100 yards in the second half, and Padilla had like 70 in a very bad completion percentage. Petrus completed more passes in the second half. The running game took off. Remember the second half running game? I think Goodson rushed for over 100 yards against Nebraska in the second half. So, granted, one of those runs was, 50, 60 yards. Remember that long run?
Yeah.
It was like his 23rd carry. I can kind of remember the call. He goes, and his 23rd carry is going to be a big one when he was running down the sideline. And he had way over 100 yards after that. So
I just don't understand why is Padilla on a choke chain leash? He's yanked after 2 bad quarters of football. Well, we've got 8 bad quarters of football right now. And, Spencer's getting the vote of confidence, he's our guy, he's our guy.
Did I share with you guys Spencer's stats by chance? Like his
go
ratios? For it. He's the only quarterback that is negative in every category. He's literally minus 16, minus 20, minus. He is not only the worst in the Big Ten as far as passing yards, completion percentage, like every stat that you can think of, he's literally minus. So, irregardless of anything that happens, you have to think about the players on your team. Like anybody who sits there and thinks, the team don't care. You think these guys behind closed doors aren't talking to Padilla? Like you don't think that especially this time, it's okay. It's all fun and games when Iowa wins, right? With this, I guarantee you Parker was pissed because the defense played freaking believable other than one drive, right?
Right.
So, Parker likes being the star, but he wants you to score more than 7 points.
Right. So what about the tweet that Sam Laporta put out there yesterday that we need to stop bagging on Petrus because we don't know what's going on behind the scenes? Did you guys see that tweet? If I could find an actual copy of it, I should put it up there, but I don't think I can.
Yeah. No, that's
this is coming from one of the guys who's
well, that's what I'm saying. That's the point, right? Mm-hmm. We don't know some of the things. We don't know why Petrus is on the field, right?
Right.
We don't know. We really have.
What is scary is he's probably is our best quarterback this year.
What?
What's scary is he probably is our best quarterback this year, but we'll never know because we're not giving number 2 a chance to prove it. And what harm can it do? What harm? We can't. Can we be any worse off than we are right now? What harm would it be do to give Padilla a shot?
Really? Only if somebody turned into Ricky Stanzi. The only way we could be worse off is if we got some pick sixes. That would be the only.
You have to throw balls that are catchable by somebody to have pick sixes.
Right.
Yeah, when you just get high tip balls, those usually don't turn into pick sixes because somebody will tackle. But when you throw those out routes, that's where the pick six is coming. That's what Stanzi's issue was. You always throw behind on the out route, and that's why he threw so many. But these out routes are wide freaking open. Yeah. Bruce was wide open. Once again, they did not stack the box. All these Iowa fans who say, they just stacked the box. No, they really didn't. That's why Iowa was able to run the ball a little bit. right?
Did you guys, anybody see what our actual yards per carry were total team? Because I don't think it could have been that bad because I just don't think we ran the ball enough.
I mean, I don't.
Okay.
So, well, let's do this, right? Because I mean, we can sit here and bang on the Petrus and fun as that can be. Where do we go from here, right? I mean, what offensively, like what can you call? What can you do?
We averaged 2.3 yards per carry, but Gavin, he averaged 5 yards a carry. Right? LaShawn averaged 2.4 yards per carry.
I mean,
so Gavin's the one that Gavin averaged 5 yards a carry. I can't wait till he's back. He's got to be back this week because obviously he could have played. I mean, I don't know why he didn't play more because but you could see that he was hurt because on that one run he could have got the first down, but he could not cut. Remember the one? I don't know, it was probably a 7-yard run on 3rd and 9 or whatever, and he couldn't cut inside at all, and he ended up.
So he's just going to play sparingly until he can cut again.
Yeah. There's not much the OC can do. This is my point. There's not much. People bang on the offensive line, but once again, I can go through and take all kinds of pictures of that pocket being clean.
Do we have a current receiver that's not hurt or injured that can go out and take a deep throw? Because, of course, Spencer hasn't tried a deep one. We haven't sent a receiver deep.
Yeah, that's another issue. That's what we can do. Bruce has the speed to go deep. I mean, it's dumb, but these receivers are wide open, so none of that even matters. I'll bet you they're playing back deep just because they're trying to get Petrus to complete a damn pass. I mean, why do you think all these out routes are wide open? They're not even covering them. Over the middle, those crossers, wide open. Wick was wide open. He tipped the ball up, but the ball was way up here.
Right.
And that's why the ball got tipped up. He should have caught it, but granted, if the ball was down here where it should be, it's not an interception if he drops it, right?
Right.
So you could take all these, woulda, shoulda. Every pass was high. And it didn't matter how wide open the receivers were. So a lot of this
were the passes really high, or are we just sending midgets out there? Maybe that's the problem, right? What we need is some 6'9" receivers with 11-foot wingspans and Shaq size hands, right? Maybe the issue isn't Spencer at all. Maybe he is throwing exactly where the ball is supposed to go. It's just we're sending out the lollipop gang from Wizard of Oz.
Oh God!
Oh God! You know what? That's funny.
But that's just it, though, Dean. You're saying we're not going deep, but you can't. I mean, you can force it deep, but there's also a chance it could be picked off that way too, right?
Right.
But
no,
when you bring that up, I got to watch the game again because there is a reason all those short routes are wide open.
Right.
So they got to be playing back, right? I mean, they got to cover somebody, don't they?
So what you're saying is both teams that we just played are respecting his ability to throw deep, so they're not throwing deep because there's people down there covering the deep, and so our receivers aren't going deep.
No, what they're doing is they're baiting us into these passes knowing we can't complete them. And they would rather us throw 13 5-yard incompletions because we can't throw the ball from me to you. No, that's really what it comes down to is that they, look, we're not going to get beat over the top and you're not going to beat us underneath.
Yeah.
Right.
We got to use this Nevada game. We got to use this game.
But he's got to be accurate. I mean, you can go against air, right? Nevada's not going to cover our receivers either, but he's got to complete them.
Right. I don't think that they'll put the pressure on him the way that the last two teams did. I don't know if Nevada has a good enough defense. Like I was telling Paul at the beginning, there's no way Nevada's going to score any points on us this week. They're going to get goose egged, and I just don't see how. I just don't see if they're not going to get any. I don't see them getting in pressure, if much of any, on Spencer. This probably allows Spencer to actually complete an easy pass.
No, but I mean, this is what I'm saying. What pressure are you talking about? He is not running for his life. He has a clean pocket. He's still not completing the passes. You're going to get me fired up. He doesn't. Every once in a while, he gets pressure. Right. He's not running for his life this year. This is not last year. He has a clean 3rd and 4. Bruce coming across the middle. He had a clean pocket. It was this right here, and he misses him.
Yeah,
he does.
No, and I understand where you're coming from. I do. I'm thinking in his mind that he thinks he's getting pressure. He's like, I got to get this ball out of here.
Have you ever seen Unnecessary Roughness? Have you guys ever seen that? In his mind, he's that backup quarterback where he's like, blow the whistle. He's trying to blow the ball. That's what this is. It's turned into a comedy skit. When he drops back the pass, there's nobody freaking around him. And I had somebody send me this picture of a guy falling at his feet right behind him on that wide open dig route that I said last week that is killing my soul. All these wide open receivers over the middle. And he goes, look, there's a guy falling at his feet, but it was behind him. I'm like, the dude was wide open. No quarterback in the country has a 100%. Of course, guys are going to fall around you, right? But that's not pressure. The guy fell right behind him, and he still threw it into the dirt. Spencer didn't even know that dude was there. So, I mean, no, it's not. He's not having all this. You could say that because every once in a while he gets pressure, right? Every once in a while, the defense wins. But he hasn't been getting, like last year, he was running for his life a lot. I would have gave that to you.
We got a question from Mike for Coach Hack here. Did you guys happen to see this question?
Oh, I did not. I didn't click on their thing. Okay.
How'd you see
it? I'm going to bring it up for – there we go.
Oh, it's Mike. But do you think him moving up in the booth may help him? You get a bird's eye view. Well, it could. That's on BF. Every coach is different. Like me, I'd rather be on the field because I have to talk to the quarterback face to face. I have to see his eyes. So, but every coach is different. I'm not going to lie. Some offensive coordinators do like being up top, but see, that's why you have coaches up there to be your eyes, right? Brian should be asking these questions. How this route look? Hey, did the X post, was it wide open? Did they cover it? What did it look like there? Like all that is going into this. Like Brian has to be asking coaches that are upstairs watching. Campbell should be upstairs. The wide receiver coaches, just whoever wants to be up there to give the bird's eye view that Mike's talking about for BF. BF, since he's on the ground, he has to ask these questions. What did that look like? Was it open? Would this play work because they're in this defense? Like all that has to be communicated as you're calling plays. So when he calls in one play, and then while the players are out there, ready to run the play where you have this 30 seconds to talk to the coaches, you're asking them about previous plays or what do you see? What's it look like on the defense on the current play that we're going? There is no just sitting there and call a play. It's not like you play in John Madden where you call a play, you just sit there and wait and do. Like literally communication has to go through the whole game, right? There isn't a downtime except for commercial breaks a little bit maybe, but during commercial breaks, the coaches can still talk to each other. So they need to be discussing things, right? So I can't because I don't know BF personally, and I don't know how he really coaches, but some coaches like being down, and Ken O'Keefe was one that liked being down on the field as well. But yeah, some coaches like being up in the booth, but it just depends on your style. I'm not sure.
He likes to be on the sideline because he thinks he can better communicate with his players. But at the same time, It also means that he's thinking that if he tries to communicate it from upstairs over the headsets, he doesn't trust his assistants enough to communicate what he wants communicated.
I feel like it, Mike, to be honest with you, and I know I'm not Coach Hack here, and I've been a little goofy this morning, but I'm.
Well, you're not as pretty anyway.
Right. True. I don't feel like play calling has been the issue, and
I don't either.
I mean, we've sat here for the last 45 minutes talking about wide receivers running open. We've talked about the screen pass that Brian called against South Dakota State. The 2 fumbles inside the 5. I mean, it's not been that Brian needs a bird's eye view. I mean, I feel like he's doing a fine job of making play calls that are open. They're there. We're just not executing them. And I don't think I don't think we have a guy under center that can do it.
You're reading my mind. It's more like one player's not executing. I mean, it would be completely different. I would be banging on BF if we did not have – when the crowd sees wide open receivers, when we as fans see wide open receivers, you cannot blame Brian. That's just the bottom line. I mean, everybody likes to blame Brian. Oh, he's the quarterback's coach. He just took over quarterback's coach. Like, he hasn't put his stamp on even being a quarterback coach. I mean, I don't know. We don't know how good of a quarterback coach he'll eventually be, right?
Right. And we also forget, we hired this genius from Wisconsin or wherever he was from before that. I mean, Budmeyer.
He was a good quarterback coach at Wisconsin. He's from
Colorado. So is he not communicating what's going on with? Doesn't he sit in the film room with Petrus and say, "Look what you're doing. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. Let's fix this. This is how we fix it." Isn't that what he's there for? As a consultant?
Hold on. Let me take a deep breath.
Okay.
Before I answer this.
Okay.
There's nothing he can do if the QB doesn't have it. Right? Petrus has spent 2 straight years working on everything, fundamentals, everything that a QB can do. And if it's not there, it's not there. I don't know what's happened. Oh no, Mike, I know. Yeah. No, I got you, buddy. And I don't know. There's something there, like the Porta's tweet, right? There is something going on because he's not even as good as last year, and it's not even close.
No.
Like literally, I had people arguing with me about the rollout pass, right? Why are we rolling out? He can't complete a rollout pass. Well, then you see him with a clean pocket, miss the receivers, and it's the same thing, right? So I don't know why people pick on the play calling on the rollout passes, which if you can't do bootlegs in Iowa's offense, you probably shouldn't be on the field. You talk about being one-dimensional. If you can't do a dang bootleg, I mean, come on. You can't do all drop back passes.
Well, we can't do those either.
Right. Well, that was my point. But you have all these people saying, why are we running bootlegs? What the heck? You got to do something different, right? I mean, you talk about being vanilla offense. Can you imagine not even running a bootleg because your quarterback can't run a bootleg?
At the end of the day, look, we've tried the screen passes. We've tried the wide receiver screens. We've tried rollouts. We've tried moving the pocket. We've tried straight drop back passes. Nothing is working. Nothing. And
it's all on. I know people are going to hate this, but it's all on one person right now. I mean, it's not.
Apparently, everybody can see it, but the one person that needs to see it.
The one person that I don't even know how to say it this year because, like I said, Kirk has forgot more about football than I'll ever know. Mm-hmm. But this is a team issue because the team sees this. This is a player issue in Padilla feeling like, what the heck? Even though he's friends with Petrus and it's all, they're rainbows and it's sunny when they talk about each other, right? But you can't be a Division I quarterback and not be competitive at the same time. You can be like, I like this guy, but dang it, I can complete better than 45% of my passes, right?
Right.
And these receivers are wide open. And to me, even if Petrus is your guy, right, this is how we're going to have to go. But right now, in this week, to get a true competition, Padilla has to play this week, just like he had South Dakota State, right, to get warmed up, just get his mind into the game. Padilla has to play this week because it's Nevada to get his mind right for Rutgers. And if Rutgers turns into the same thing, I say go to LaBosse. Just run what he knows because the year is going to be – if we lose to Rutgers, the year is going to be – I mean, it's going to go downhill from there, right? So
if we lose to Rutgers, yes.
So that's what I'm saying is
you question whether you can beat any other team on your schedule the rest of the year.
Well, no, Rutgers they're different this year. They're getting better under Schiano. But anyway, that's either here or there.
They are.
Hold up.
We got to get through this week first.
I got to interject here because the quote here basically was, if we lose to Rutgers, you have to question every other game. Who's not already questioning every game right now?
Well,
okay, I am.
Better than Nevada, right?
I put it out there the other day that 0-9 in the Big Ten.
Well, I don't know about 0-9, but I mean, like, I don't see any. Maybe Nebraska right now, since they don't really have a coach. Like,
no. I mean, we've been questioning. Obviously, we've been questioning this whole thing.
You're right, Mike. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I mean that's kind of where we're at.
Well, that's what. Yeah, Mike. That's what I'm saying. That's 100% what I'm saying, and the players know this too. He's going to lose that locker room, which is my work, which he's never done in his career. Right? He's always been a player's coach. He's loved his players, but it's like he doesn't care about Padilla right now. Padilla, God, I don't know. Quesadilla, Padilla. I just remembered. I always say it wrong. You guys got to correct me, so maybe one day I'll remember.
Yeah, there was a Chad after the game. Chad Lessico posted something in the group text that said that he noticed that after the game that Brian and Alex were jogging off the field together, having an intent conversation. We don't know what to read into that. Whether Alex is saying, "Hey, give me a shot, coach," or whether coach is saying, "Alex, be ready because I think we're coming to you."
Well, I mean, I told you last week Brian wanted Padilla, right?
Yeah. So
I guarantee you, it's either Padilla this week or Brian's coaching the Raiders next week or next year.
Next year.
Yeah, I mean that's just. And like, have you guys seen my stuff on Josh McDaniels not hiring a tight ends coach? Like, he literally predicted this. Like, he knew that Kirk wasn't going to give Brian – he wasn't going to give Brian the freedom that he told him he was going to give him.
Mm-hmm.
So
there is a writer out there. Oh, I can't think of what his name was. You guys may have seen it. But he's saying that nobody in the NFL wants Brian right now. And I said that counters what you were saying about getting hired at the Raiders last year.
He's an idiot. He doesn't know. He's just trying to be like all the other Brian haters. Mm-hmm. Maybe nobody wants him as an OC. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Josh McDaniels knows how good of a tight ends coach he was. He's already been that with him. And he's already proven he's a good offensive line coach too, because when I had him as an O-line coach.
Yeah. Was Josh McDaniel with the New England when Brian was the tight ends coach there?
Coordinator. He was their offensive coordinator.
Oh, okay. All right. So, he would know.
Yeah. And to say that nobody wants him as a positional coach is stupid because he's good as a positional coach. I mean, I'll agree right now. Nobody's going to want him as an OC, right? No one will probably take him as a QB coach. But no, that's not the way that Bazelak, in my dreams. But Bazelak would have to learn the system. Like that's the deal is we were all told they're dummying down the system, right? Remember my rant last week? Mm-hmm. Oh, it's proved to me. Remember I showed you the whiteboard and everything? They didn't dummy down crap. Like it's still the same verbiage. Like I don't understand. Like
maybe that is though why we got guys running wide open. I mean, maybe they did dumb it down. I mean, the plays are there to be made. They're there. I mean, but you're going to get me going on a pro Brian rant here because I mean, honestly, I think Brian is doing a fine job of play calling on Saturdays. Now, obviously, are we preparing them to execute the play calls? It seems perhaps not. Or, we're sticking with a guy who just simply it's in his head right now. Dude if he was a golfer, you'd say he has the yips. You know what I mean? Like he can't drive. He can't hit his drive off the tee box right now. Like it's,
You gotta stop that. You read my mind again. Only I went to field goal kickers and you went to golf. When you said I went straight to, I'm like, yeah, he's like a field goal because field goal kicking is the same way. It's up here, right? Once you get out of your own head, I mean, you start shanking stuff. You can't figure anything out, and that's the same thing. And to me, I think there's something it's in his head, like Laporta's tweet, right? We don't know what's going on behind closed doors. All I know is what I was told. And last week, with what you said about Padilla and Brian, it probably leads to Brian probably apologized to him, right? Because Brian wants Padilla.
Right. And the people out there that are saying that we need to fire both Ferences, they're wrong. Kirk has done more for the Iowa program. I mean, he may be stubborn on this issue. Why, we don't know. There's a reason why he's stubborn on this.
Yeah, because he's been like that his whole career. Yeah, you're right.
And
he's been like that his whole career. Yeah.
But he also said that he didn't want to get into a 2-quarterback system and didn't want to be out there changing course. He's made that public. When he has done that, he's gotten mixed results when he's gone back and forth between quarterbacks, and he didn't get the winning seasons he's wanted. So maybe he's scared. Oh, if I change quarterbacks now, I'm going to lose this season. Well, you're going to lose it anyway.
Well, I mean, let's give Kirk all the benefit of the doubt because I believe he's earned it, right? I think his resume over, so let's say for the sake of argument here, there was a true open QB competition over the spring and summer, and Spencer was, head and shoulders the number one quarterback on the team. How do you then, after, one bad game or now 2 bad games, say none of the work that you put in over the spring and summer mattered? We're going with the guy that you beat out, honestly. Like, I don't know. But here's the thing. I don't understand why quarterback is the only position on the team that is untouchable. I mean, right. If an offensive lineman simply can't block, they sub him out. If he's just getting absolutely torched, they'll try something. If wide receivers are constantly dropping the football, Tyrone Tracy, you find yourself playing behind true freshmen. I mean,
why is the quarterback the only position that he won't?
You want me to use the line?
Yeah, Paul's brain just
medieval kings have been usurped from the throne easier than changing Iowa quarterbacks. Like,
oh God, the response I got from that was so funny. That was a good one, Paul. I don't know how you came up with that, but that was a good one. Although I don't know how to if I was in your brain for 5 minutes, I'd probably jump out right away.
It's a scary place in here, man. Demons and
to answer your question, though, it's about winning games for Kirk. Kirk doesn't believe in the offense winning games, right? It's about the quarterback isn't about winning as much as it's about don't lose the game for us. That's why. But it's not that way right now. He's thrown 2 picks and has 0 touchdown passes. Granted, he should have 1. Bruce falls down. Like, I don't know how Bruce, so athletic, falls down on that. But Anyway, do you remember that play where he
Mhm.
fell down at the one before the fumble?
Yeah.
I guess there's so many other bad plays. I just didn't remember that one.
Yeah.
No, that one was. I mean, in my brain, I think it was a good pass. It's just Bruce fell down when he caught it at the one.
Oh, that's
It's
right.
a
That's
play-
right. That's right. Yeah.
That's the play before the fumble.
He was
But-
going in. Yeah. When he caught it, he was going in.
Yeah, no one around him. You talk about a play call, right? Was
Yeah.
that not a perfect play call?
That
There
was.
nobody around Bruce, and he fell down.
Yeah. But
So-
by the way, Kirk is so committed to Spencer. Who wants to bet he comes out in his presser today and says, well, we'd have won if Terry Roberts didn't fall down?
That poor kid. That poor kid. Did
I
you
must have
see
missed
it?
that. What are we talking about? Refresh my memory.
When he fell down after he intercepted it, and he damn near
Oh, yeah.
the announcers thought he dropped it
Right.
because he was so upset with himself.
Right.
Announcers
That's what I
thought
thought.
he dropped
I
it.
thought he dropped it too originally.
But it's because he fell down and he had an easy pick six.
hmm
And he knew.
So that's what it is. It's all Terry Roberts' fault. Let's just
Right.
get him.
You know,
Spencer
in his
played
mind,
a great game.
he probably knew, well, hell, our offense isn't going to score. I could have just ended this game right here. You know, a part of that was that. And even on Twitter, he tweeted out that if only I didn't fall down. You know, and
Is that
then
what he
his
said?
mom- yeah. And his mom's like, you played great, hon, or something like that, which he did.
He
Terry
did-
Roberts, I don't even want Harris to come back right now because I don't want Roberts off the field.
Right.
He is just, I mean, he's hitting, he's doing everything.
But, I don't even see that. I see Roberts as the starter. It's his position to lose.
Well, it's because Harris doesn't drop a ball. Like he had 4 picks last year without trying. Jamari Harris is always around the ball, and it hits his hands, he's catching it.
Well, then no matter what, when Harris comes back, we need to find a way to keep Roberts on the field. Maybe this is where
100.
Logan Klempt goes back to the bench.
Yeah, I talk with Robert's uncle a lot. He's a coach in Cleveland. He's a big Browns fan. But anyway, I talk with his uncle a lot. His whole family is talented. So I'm always like, man, that Roberts family needs to share some of that talent. You know, obviously I talk about Terry as well, but the Roberts family is extremely talented. So, I mean, I want Roberts on the field. I don't know how you can justify taking him off because I don't remember him like dropping picks. I don't remember the one ball that hit him in the hands. I think he caught, right? So, but anyway, our defense is fine regardless. I just like Roberts. So that's a fan thing.
Right.
But right now, to save the team, I mean, I don't care about if you're a Peters fan, that's fine. If you're a Padilla fan, that's fine. But right now, you have to give Padilla a shot for the team and for him with what everybody is seeing, regardless. Peters is completing 45% of his passes. I was hard on Padilla last year, completing 50% of his passes.
You
right?
took 50 this year.
Right now, 50, we probably are 2-0, right?
Yeah, right.
Well, you know, the reason we can't run the football is because we can't complete simple passes too, right? Like it's all connected. And
you know what?
It's amazing how, you know, you get that first down on, you know, you get into a even though maybe we're averaging 2-3 yards a carry. Well, okay, fine. 3rd and 6 is a manageable situation. It's supposed to be. Yeah, you'd like it to be 3rd and 4 or 3rd and 3, but you know, this isn't 3rd and 12 we're talking about or 3rd and 15, and guys are running open. And you know, if we can complete some of this easy stuff, now all of a sudden, the reason that the running game, the averages are what they are is because we're not getting enough. We're not getting enough at bats. We're not able to establish the run because we aren't sustaining drives.
We don't have the offensive line of the 95 Huskers where, you know, it doesn't matter
You
if we
don't need
complete
it.
fast. Yeah.
You don't need it. I mean, we would have been able to run the ball against South Dakota State. They were undersized, but again, if you can't sustain drives and start to impose your will on them in the second half, I mean, those, you know, it's one of the reasons our defense looks pretty good, right? Is because we're getting off the field. Yeah. And I mean, so I don't see
complete passes that will help the blocking, It'll help get people out of the. I mean, a lot of the reason we're running wide open is because they do have everybody. They got their safeties playing a little bit deeper, probably to protect, saying we're not going to give up anything just in case Peters hits somebody, right? So, but they have everybody else, like 8 guys up in the box at most, sometimes just 7. But if you notice, sometimes they just rush. Like that's another reason we have wide open receivers is they're just blitzing. They're doing run blitzes that turn into rushing the passer, right? So that's another reason. I mean, it's some of this on that.
We can't throw slants, Casey, because we can't complete them.
Yeah.
Casey,
they try it. I mean, and they run crossers. They're no different than slants, right? And they're wide open. I mean, but Peters has to see a slant right away, right? A slant's not something that you call and then you don't throw it, right? You have to see it right away because a slant's going to be, depending on the depth, for me, most of the time it's going to be 2 yards. You're going to cut on your outside foot, regardless what side of the field on. You cut on your outside foot. So it's a quick play. I would say the drag routes they were running, you could compare to a slant because Peters doesn't see it. And the drag routes are wide open and he's missing them. And a slant is something that if you misread it, that's a pick 6. Right? If you're running a slant and they have their linebacker or whoever there and you misread it, that's one of those pick 6 plays.
Can we talk about the future of the quarterback position real quick though? Because we just did get the dual threat quarterback commit from Bishop Kenny. We've got Lionez, who's also a more mobile dual threat guy, right? He said he modeled his game after Brad Banks. So Labus, from all what I hear, he's got some mobility to him, and
he's more Brad Banks than Marco is.
Okay, and then Padilla, he can move around a little bit too. So I mean, maybe this is we're take our lumps right now, Iowa fans, at the QB position. Suck it up a little bit. Look, it's hard. It's but look, the future of that position, I do think is evolving. So
here's my prediction. Okay, unless Padilla gets some meaningful playing time the rest of this year, the dude's not coming back next year.
Doesn't need to.
Spencer's gone after this year anyway. So we got Labus as a number 1 QB with Carson May as his backup next year. So the fans are clamoring for Labus. They're going to get him next year. That's my prediction. They're going to get him as our starting QB.
Well, what we're going to have next year is an open competition between whoever's still here. I mean,
it'll be May. It'll be Labus, and what's the guy they're bringing in next? Marco something.
How many times you going to let me say Marco?
Okay, go for it, Marco.
Hello.
Right. No, the reason I say that, because Marco did say that what you said about Brad Banks, right? But Marco weighs 220 pounds. And the more Brad Banks-ish would be LaBosse, right? Mm-hmm. Like he can move. Marco can move too. Don't get me wrong. He's probably a 4'6", 40 guy, right? Mm-hmm. He's a big dude, which is good. He can do bootlegs. Marco's accuracy is what I'm in love with. God, that dude, I cannot wait. And if Marco doesn't see the field, right? Because of a quarterback, I don't know, maybe LaBosse is struggling at some point and Marco's there, right? And he's not coming in. I'm going to lose my stuff. Because I cannot wait for Marco.
Is it LaBosse or is it Labus?
I don't know. It's another.
I've been calling him Labus most of the time.
I've heard people say both, so I don't know what to say.
Tomato,
Padilla, whatever.
Can we just get a Smith or a Jones to play quarterback?
Right. But no, the quarterback position is looking real. See, since Brian took over as OC also, we've been getting better and better quarterbacks that are committing to us. I mean, that's a big deal, right? Between LaBosse, May, Hogan was supposed to be. It just turns out he he couldn't. I mean, Iowa's offense is just too complicated, right? Hogan has every physical tool, and we'll see what he does at Kentucky. So it's got to be a scheme that guys can figure out. I mean, it's the verbiage. The scheme people can figure out, but when your verbiage is not easy to learn, like, I mean, I don't know what they do. I know it's probably Ken O'Keefe's verbiage. That's probably how this whole thing started, because when Brian took over as OC, guess who the quarterback coach was, right? And they made Ken O'Keefe quarterback coach to help Brian. So I almost guarantee you're muted, Dean.
Okay.
I can almost guarantee you this. I mean, and they lied. I mean, we were all lied to, right? The people that I talked to was lied to. Like everybody inside the program were lied to about what we were doing on offense.
Yeah, I know.
It's sad in a way.
All right. I just looked up in the media guide the pronunciation because they always tell you it is Labus.
Okay.
Labus.
It's LaBoss. Thank you.
What about Padilla? Can we get one for Padilla?
Yeah,
Padilla is Padilla. I live in the heart of Hispanic country. Padilla is Padilla.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even look at it like that.
What's that?
Hispanic. That never even crossed my mind.
Oh.
I got Italian eyebrows, so I didn't see the Padilla in the Padilla.
I see that. I see what you're saying.
But okay, now I got you.
All right.
So, was it LaBoss or Labus? What was it? Labus?
It's Labus.
Labus, yeah.
Oh, okay, now we can move on.
I had a point I wanted to make, and I'm sorry. I think I forgot the point I was trying to make. I was going to make real quick on something you had just said. God, I can't even remember now.
That's what you get for pulling out the book when you have a thought.
I know it. I thought my mind could keep track of both of them. And I even got a sheet of paper here with all kinds of notes on it to remind me what I wanted to say.
And it wasn't enough? You didn't do enough research? Or?
Well, I guess not.
And the bottom line is Padilla has to play for the team, for the players, for the recruits. I tell you what, if Spencer plays this whole year like this, right, and Pia doesn't get a shot, I guarantee you some of the recruits are going to look at like, well, dang. Because a part of me thinks this kid who committed, the 2024 quarterback, he runs an 11-second 100-yard dash for a quarterback. That dude is fast, right? I guarantee you he saw that game and saw all the wide open receivers and saw how bad quarterback play was. And he was like, ooh, I can start early, right?
Yeah, I can come in here and make some noise.
Yeah. And that's probably, that's what he's thinking. But if Padilla doesn't even get a shot with this bad quarterback play, he may go, what the heck? Like he might start thinking, are they going to play me even if I'm the better quarterback?
Yeah. I've always had respect for Kurt Ferentz, but when he comes out week after week during the summer, during the camps, we've got two quarterbacks who have proven winners. We've got faith in both of them. They can go out and win. But when he has a chance, when he's got one quarterback not performing, and he has a chance to put the other one in that he supposedly has faith in, which actually he must not because he doesn't put him in.
Right.
Well, but maybe, if you're one of these, quarterback recruits or, recruits of any position and you're seeing this, the other thing, look, dude is loyal, right? I know that if I go out there and I do earn my spot, my starting role, that
it's going to take a mountain to get me off of my starting role.
Yeah. Well, if you don't want a coach who, just yanks players left and right, like overreacts to every. I think we're past that point though with this. That's the thing, and Kirk is not looking at 2021. He's looking at 2 games of 2022 right now, and Iowa fans were. The issue here is the explanations don't align with the results, right? So you're saying, well, Spencer is the safer guy, right? He's not he's not a playmaker at quarterback, but he is a game manager, and he doesn't put us in bad situations. Well, that's not exactly true anymore either.
Not anymore.
So, and it hasn't been true. That's the thing. It hasn't been true. So that's I think
Spencer lost us the bowl game against Kentucky with his poor play and interceptions. I don't know if I can put the Michigan game on his back or not. I think our defense just quit or something.
That game was close at halftime, and
yeah, it was. Well, even at the start of the third, it was close for a while.
Right.
But
it is what it
you
is.
could say the defense lost the Kentucky game too.
Yeah, that too.
Kentucky had the ball for 40 minutes, and they picked up a 3rd and 26. I mean, Iowa just couldn't cover that. Robinson, Wandell.
I got to give Mike credit. Somebody actually agrees with me on the 2-10 record because I did say 0-9 in the Big Ten this year. If things don't change, that would be 0-9 in the Big Ten.
Well, that's a hard disagree for me because the defense will win more games than that. But
right,
I mean, it's not going to be better than 6-6 if Peaches stays and they don't get some more team. Like, I'm just talking about from a coach, from a team standpoint. I mean, even if Padilla turns out to be as bad as Peaches, right? We don't know. Then the team will see. Well, shoot. Kind of like the Baltimore Ravens Super Bowl victory when they had Trent Dilfer at quarterback. He was terrible, right? But he didn't like lose the game, but he didn't win games, right? Baltimore's defense did. Well, that's kind of so the team knew. Like Warren Sapp has a famous line with his Buccaneers offense. Remember how bad that offense was, but the defense was so good. Warren Sapp was just like, just give us 14 points, please. Give us 13, 14 points and let us do our thing. That's kind of where Iowa is at. Yeah. If the offense could just give us 10 points, maybe special teams give us some and block punts with stuff or whatever, and the defense does their thing, just let the offense score 10 points. And this defense will take care of the rest, right? And that's to me, that's where we're at. Like, I just think of that Warren Sapp line because they lost in the NFC Championship game to the Rams 9-6 or something. Oh no, 11-5. It was 11-5. They lost in the NFC NFL game to go to the Super Bowl. That's when the Rams won their. Well, actually, I think they lost that Super Bowl they went to. But anyway, that's where Iowa's at. Yeah. I mean, I was at the point where the defense is just begging for 10 points.
I know it.
Well, special teams and defense take over.
Yeah. Now, Mike says here we're averaging 5 offensive points a game right now. I don't know if I would say that kicking a field goal is on the offense. I would give that to special teams. What do you guys think?
I mean, I would give the touchdown to the offense because
the touchdown to the offense, but I'm just saying that obviously he's going with the touchdown and the one field goal that we made.
I got you. You, Mike. I wasn't following at first.
Yeah. By the way, let's get a little bit of perspective because as we're talking about 2-10 and not winning, but Northwestern got beat at home by Duke. That's not a good Duke football team. Wisconsin lost at home to Washington State. I don't really know enough about them, but they are Washington State. I have to believe Iowa State is a better team than Washington State is. Right. Nebraska, but they're.
What do you say about that one? I mean,
so within the division here, things aren't.
The West is.
Can we just say that Notre Dame got beat by Marshall?
Notre Dame got beat by
Alabama. Got beat by Appalachian State.
Right. So I mean, like
Alabama took a last-second field goal for Alabama to win their game. But Texas has put Alabama on notice that says, "We're coming, buddy. We're coming for you."
What it did was it showed how good a quarterback is that can win a game. Mm-hmm. When the fourth quarter came, Alabama's quarterback took over.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and Texas had to play most of the game without their quarterback because he got hurt early in the game.
Who did?
Evers got hurt.
Oh, okay.
He was my number one quarterback. He's a stud. He looks like a goofball. He looks like he belongs on that alligator show down south catching alligators. But dude, he's a classic.
Take the under, Mike. Take the under.
Guys, here's something that I saw last night. Iowa is a 20-point favorite against Nevada, and the over-under is 40 points. How's that math work?
Well, think about it.
30-10?
Yeah. I mean,
30-10. Okay.
But
I was trying to think, more. That's almost like 20-20.
And you ran grocery stores.
Yeah.
How's your math?
Yeah, I kept trying to think in my mind, how we get this 40 over-under for 20 point?
Because they don't expect Nevada to score.
Right.
They literally expect Iowa to score 20 and Nevada to score 0.
Right, but where's the over-under on the 40? That's what I was trying to get my head wrapped around.
30-10.
30-10, I guess, yeah.
If Nevada gets 10 points, that's it. I'm giving up Hawkeye football.
I think Nevada gets a goose egg. I really do. I just don't see how they score against Iowa's defense.
Right.
This will be the worst team we face all year.
Didn't they lose to Incarnate Word? Was it Nevada that got beat by Incarnate Word?
And they gave up 48 points or something like that?
Yeah.
I think they lost 48-41.
Yeah. If we had an offense, I would think we'd score 60 easy on this team, but I'll just settle if we can just get the offense moving and clicking a little bit.
I guess that's my point, is this has to be the week Padilla starts. Let him get his feet wet. And then next week at Rutgers, let him play that game. And then you can say, okay, I got 2 games with this guy, 2 games with this guy. Where do we go forward, right? I mean, and the team will see it. I'm going to go back to that. The team will be like, okay, this is who we are. We suck. Our quarterbacks suck, right? So the defense will not be as mad because they'll know, right? They're going to get really mad when it's 100% Petrus playing like this. They have to, so the whole team and Padilla for him, right? Padilla. Yeah, Padilla. I'm sorry. I'd make sure I say it right.
Yeah, Padilla.
So Padilla will, for himself, just be like, okay, here's my shot, right? Petrus did not do it. He only completed 45% of his passes. I know I got to be better, right? Here's my chance to prove myself, regardless of what happened last year.
Padilla doesn't have to be great. He just has to be pedestrian to be better than Petrus, right? Like, just be okay. Just be okay. He doesn't have to come out gunslinging Drew Tate, Brad Banks. He just has to complete a few passes and get some first downs.
And get people out of the box so they can run the football, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If he just starts completing some of those wide open passes, I mean, I don't know who said the slants, because that's a great play, right? But that's also the play which I think Iowa is afraid of. It's kind of like throwing over the middle. If you're running slants and Petrus misreads it, that's a pick 6, right?
Yeah.
You throw over the middle and you keep throwing high, well, that's a pick, right?
Yep.
So, and it was obvious that any offensive corner would keep running out routes if they're not covering the out routes. You make them change their ways, right? Mm-hmm. This is going to be wide open. And if you have a quarterback in Division I football who can't complete an out route, I don't care who you are. It's not going to work for any OC. That is standard what he worked on with Rasiopi, right? That's just because you learn, because you have to throw the out route early. You have to throw it in front, because if you throw the out route behind, it's a pick 6. Right. So, I mean, that's just a route you practice. I guarantee you he must hit that thing 9 out of 10 times in practice, right? And then the lights come on and he misses. There is something that we don't know. I mean, because if he's saying, well, he does good in practice, oh, God, that's so annoying. There is a such thing as gamers, right? Yeah. There are kids who are gamers, or there's people who are gamers. They don't like practice. Spencer must love the practice. And during the game, he's afraid. But I don't want to because I don't want to downplay everything on Petrus, because last year, Petrus was the better quarterback. All I'm saying is, just like I said last year, the players have to see Padilla. right?
Yeah.
I said the same thing last year. We have to have proof on who's the better quarterback, or are they both trash?
Well, then here's the question, because he brought up, but it's very possible. Mick Petrus was the better quarterback last year. He was the better quarterback throughout spring and summer, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the result we've gotten out of that. Now, if Padilla isn't any better, now we have to have a whole different conversation about what's going on in the quarterback room, that the guys aren't, that they've gone backwards as a unit. I mean, not that they were great last year, but Padilla does have some game experience.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
No,
I think.
Go ahead.
Mike here says if Nevada's as bad as we say they are, that they should play all three quarterbacks. In a normal season, they would, but I think if we can get some kind of an offense going, whoever we're playing at quarterback, he needs to stay in the game and get comfortable doing it again.
Can we try to spin this back to some kind of positive mojo here and realize, one, we can still win the West, right? Like, I mean, I know that sounds crazy right now because we are struggling so bad on offense, but if we can get Keegan Johnson back, I mean, at this point, who knows, right? It seems like we have to wonder if he's ever going to play football again. The guy hasn't played since. Did he play against Michigan? I think he was out of the Big Ten championship.
He played against Michigan.
Okay,
he was the dude that dropped the ball on the first play of the second half.
That's right. Okay, so
it was a good play call and everything, and the ball hit him in the numbers he dropped.
But we haven't seen Keegan since the Big Ten championship game. He didn't play the bowl game. Nico, we're getting Nico Reganey back. I mean, he's a good route runner, catches the football. I think Spencer is comfortable with Nico. There's some chemistry there. Getting the running back, LaShawn. Is it? No, it's the other Williams kid.
Gavin
Williams. So, I mean, like, if the offense is able to catch fire a little bit and get some footing under itself, the defense is going to be the defense, right? And, I mean, the West is right now. Minnesota looks pretty good, but their level of competition hasn't been.
Yeah. Can I say something to Dean real quick?
Yeah.
Western Illinois. Do you remember how bad Spencer Rattler was last year for Oklahoma?
Yeah.
He threw 6 touchdowns against Western Illinois, and then he only threw 3 touchdowns against any other team. So, and that's who Minnesota played. Last night, He was all over Minnesota, and I was like, they played Western Illinois.
Okay. So this is in reference to that. My new pick for the win the West was Minnesota, right?
I was just having
fun with Purdue knocking on the door.
Yeah, I don't think Purdue will, but I can't wait to find out. We'll see if Purdue can beat Syracuse this week. But
I got a question for you guys. We weren't going to bring this up.
Why are you going to do
I'm not going to mention the fact that Charlie had another great game. What I want to know is, does anybody know about Tyrone? Did he have a good game? Did he get overshadowed again?
Oh, yeah.
Did he get any catches? I mean, what did he do for him?
He caught like 5 balls. But
he did?
I think he had 2 drops, though.
Tyrone giveth and Tyrone taketh away.
No, but they're playing Indiana State. I don't know what people expect. Like I was trying to tell you with Minnesota, what they did to Western Illinois, that's what they do when it's your style and you're going against a bad team. Mm-hmm. That's how teams pad their stats.
Right.
For Iowa, when they go against a bad team, it's still the same old. They don't pad their stats. And once the score gets out of range, then he puts in the backups. And whereas Minnesota doesn't really do that.
Right.
Well, and, the other thing too, because we were talking about, I was going to bring this up a little bit ago with the running average too, and I just lost it. We haven't broken one yet, right? And that's how you pad those yards per carry stats too. You say, well, I was averaging 2.3 yards per carry. Well, at some point, maybe Gavin is able to pop one for 2025, or, LaShawn does, or one of the backs somehow, gets loose. They are, stacking the box. So, miss one arm tackle and then, off to the races kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't see Gavin or LaShawn breaking one loose. I do see Caleb Johnson if they'll give him a better shot, because to me,
Casey.
he looked like the fastest running back on the squad. He hit that hole faster and went through it faster than the other two.
Caleb? No, he's struggling.
You think so?
He can't.
I thought he had a good game, except for the one.
He falls down like he can't even find a hole. Like he's been getting destroyed. No, Caleb,
I thought he, except for the 1 2-yard carry he had, I thought he looked pretty good in the few carries he got. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm looking at something different.
No, I mean, I'll disagree. But Gavin will break one before any of the other ones. But Caleb has struggled. Like he even struggled in week 1.
Week 1 he did. Yeah, 3 carries for 0 yards.
And he did the same thing on Saturday, where there's something not right with him quite yet. But he's also a true freshman, right? Mm-hmm. So you just got to let him get feeled out. But he can't see like a hole, nothing. And for being as big as he is, he just falls down. There was one time that he cut it outside, which was a good move, right? And the guy just, he didn't stiff arm. He didn't try to run him over. He just fell down. It would have been a good run outside, right? Then the crowd would have been going, oh, give him more carries. No, there's something, like Caleb's not running like a power back yet, but he's a true freshman. But he's not Tyrone Tracy as a true freshman.
Yeah.
Right? He doesn't, or not Tyrone Tracy, Goodson. You got me thinking Tyrone Tracy. Here, I'll give you. Tracy did have 3 carries for 34 yards, though.
Okay, that's 10 yards a carry.
Yeah, but he had 4 catches for 30 yards. So
he's being used more than we would have used him.
Well, yeah, because we can't afford him to drop the ball. Because if the ball hits you in the hands, you have to catch it.
However, I would say though that given our current situation with the wide receivers, if Tyrone and Charlie had stayed, they would be seeing more targets this year.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, of course. I mean,
whether or not Spencer could get it to him or not, it's another story.
No, I mean, they wouldn't do what they're doing now. I mean, Spencer, what it would have done is Charlie would probably show more emotion. Mm-hmm. Like Bruce is starting to, he's starting to show, like when the ball, he just kind of gives Petrus this look. Like, dude, like, what the hell? You could see, and then Bruce, and then see, this is what I'm saying, and then that gets into the receivers' heads. Mm-hmm. So then they start dropping balls. Like Bruce dropped one, but it all goes together. Like as far as everybody's mental, when the quarterback is this bad, it turns everything. Or like receivers will be like, oh, you hit me in the hands. Holy cow! Wait a minute. Right. And if the quarterback is this bad, the receivers are not going to run their routes as good. And then when the ball sails the whole team, the defense isn't going to like it. No matter what they tell you, we all know what is said behind closed doors. We've all been a part of situations where to your face, everybody's like, oh, yeah, you did great. All right. And then you go back and you talk to your buddy, man, that dude sucked. So, I mean, it's no different. And these are college kids. Dang well they're talking to each other. Dang well Padilla's having teammates come up to him and say, man, you should get your shot. And because of how bad, 45 completion percentage is downright. It's
abysmal.
Thank you.
Abysmal, to say the least.
Yeah. By the way, Casey, thanks for commenting. We didn't want to ignore your comment there. Thanks for tuning in and being part of the discussion here.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Casey.
Oh, Casey and Mike. I always want to put out there too, Casey and Mike, because I know we're getting close to the end here.
Yeah.
Share this with your friends. Next time you come on live, let them know how much fun we're having and how much information we're having, and just share this with your friends when you go live so they can join us too.
But Casey, the boss can't unless Iowa decides that they only want to use half the playbook, which I'm game. I'm game this week to give him a quarter to see what he does with half the playbook.
By the way, if he can execute half the playbook, it's better than having the whole playbook and not being able to
bring in 10 plays that he can execute, and let's see what he does in the fourth quarter, right? Because, like you said, Dean, I don't think Nevada's going to score unless Iowa does something on offense to let them
something
score.
stupid. Like
So, I mean, I think the game will be out of hand in the fourth quarter, and it would be the perfect time.
Right.
Bring in Joey's 10 best plays that he can execute. Because right now, I know for a fact he has 10 plays he knows, right?
Yeah.
It's just knowing all the other stuff. So, I mean, I'm with Casey on this point.
Yeah. By the time they would get to Labus, by that time, the third string quarterback's only doing handoffs. They have got to allow him to throw some balls, even though it's going to be out of hand.
Yeah, that's what my point was as far as give him his 10 best plays, not just handoffs. But
right. But that's what usually Kirk does.
Let him run a bootleg. Let him just show other stuff.
Right.
When was the last time Iowa threw a third string quarterback in the game, even to hand off a football? When was the last time we saw that?
Last year. Hogan got in a couple of games as third string, but I think he had a pass or two too.
One, he did. He completed one pass. That's right.
Okay, I apologize then. I mean,
it was last, but it's been I could think of a time where, what's a kid's? There was another time like 5 years ago where the third string played. He ended up transferring. God, I can't think of his name, and he did very well for the team he transferred to.
I know who you're talking about because I always felt like he was better than our starting quarterback.
You're talking about the one that transferred to like Louisiana Tech or whatever?
No, I think he went to division. What is it called? Not FBS, FCS.
Yeah.
I think he went to an FCS school, if I remember right.
I thought he went to like a MAC school or something and had a great career at the MAC.
I mean, we don't know his name. We could figure out sometime. We're all being...
Mike says Manziel.
That's it.
Oh yeah, that's it.
No,
I can't see all this stuff. Oh, I'm in a private chat.
That's why.
No wonder. I see my brain.
Yeah. Now, Jason, you're supposed to be able to bring these up on the screen too once in a while.
Okay.
These comments. If you click on the comment, it'll say hide or show.
Yeah,
you can do that.
I was just in a private chat with nobody, so I didn't see anything. I was wondering how you guys were seeing all these comments because I thought only Dean could see them. No, I'm just an idiot. No big deal.
You know,
I'm gonna bring Terry's banner back up.
Yeah,
I'm surprised Terry hasn't joined us. She must be busy with the her insurance this morning.
Are you gonna do a commercial?
I did one at the beginning. I'm gonna let Paul do this one.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
Paul's like, all right, whatever.
All right, whatever. I'm gonna Spencer Petras this thing. You know.
Okay.
So this over here. Yeah, this is a wax pack.
Turn your light off.
I don't have a light on.
Oh, it's your sunlight then.
Yeah,
we're getting a glare.
I'll turn the sunlight off, unfortunately. This is what it looks like on the inside. This one is a iridescent pearl. It does smell. It smells very, very good. You get these wax warmers. I know Dean. I know you guys have I know Dean has a 49ers one. You can get these things. For guys, for girls, and for whatever other unspecified genders that might be out there. So we do want this to be an inclusive thing, but this stuff does make your house smell good. The waxes melt. Yeah, and there's so many more products other than just the waxes. There's kitchen cleaner. There's laundry soaps. There's hand soaps, creams, bath salts, all kinds of stuff. So if you want to smell good, if you want your house to smell good, and this is stuff again. You're going to Walmart and buying this stuff anyway. Maybe not the waxes, but somebody in your life is burning candles or doing something. Stop buying from Walmart. Stop buying from these places. Buy from a fellow Hawk fan. use the link here. Check out the link for Cincy's Terry page. Tell her go Hawks and see what she can do for you.
Right. And she can get fired up, man. She got fired up on our chats last night.
Yeah.
Or during the game, too. Oh, my God, was she fired up during the game.
I'm all for it, Mike. The LaBosse package. Both Casey and Mike, I'm all for it. Give me a LaBosse package, just like you did with Brad Banks.
All right. So, did you guys see that comment earlier? I just want to point that out. Maybe I accidentally. Oh, here we go. This one.
Yeah.
I already said bet the under, Mike. Bet the under.
Oh, that's right. You did say the okay.
Yeah, no, we saw that. That reminds me of but if you remember, the one time CJ Beathard beat Wisconsin, it wasn't CJ Beathard that beat him. That score was 10-3.
Right.
Imagine if Nate Stanley had that defense. Nate Stanley lost games scoring in the 20s. So that's what as an Iowa fan, you got to keep everything in perspective. Right. Everybody loves to hate on Nate, but he scored points against almost every team, right?
So, Nate had some talent around him at the wide receiver and tight end position that Nate had 2 first-round tight ends.
Right. But he has to hit them in the hand.
And he had legit NFL wide receivers and Smith Marset and Brandon Smith. So
right, but how would that help Iowa this year?
To have Nate? No,
it wouldn't.
No. Nate would. I'm talking about having all that NFL talent.
Well, yeah.
It wouldn't help him this year if he can't hit anybody in the hands.
I was waiting for that.
and it also doesn't help if the O-line is not busting some holes for the running backs.
I love this comment, Mike. Mike, I love your last comment. I can't bring it up. Dean lies to me.
Okay, I'm sorry. This one?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
I agree, Mike.
Yeah.
I
made this. I made it supposedly that, Jason, you could do anything I could do on this thing because I'm going to be gone in Iowa here in a couple of weeks, and I wanted you guys to be able to continue the show without me.
Oh.
But I'll just take my laptop and we'll do it from Iowa.
But take your let's not forget too that Nate was also kind of a whipping boy during his time in Iowa City.
Matt, that's what I'm saying about Iowa fans in general. We kicked Dr. Tom Davis out. We're still chasing that Sweet 16.
Right.
We are.
They were all over Nate. He threw the second most touchdown passes in Iowa history, and he only threw 23 interceptions, throwing the ball more times than Chuck Long did, who had 46 interceptions. Well, that's just how Iowa fans are, I guess.
I know. I do want to point out, though, that Tom Davis's last two, not Tom Davis's, but our last 2 teams were supposed to make the Sweet 16, and they both bombed big time.
No, you're right, but that's just the point, is Dr. Tom was a tournament coach. Dr. Tom, if only he could recruit as good as he could coach, right? Because when he took over the team in the 80s, look how good they were. Won Elite Eights and all kinds of stuff. So
here's a question. See if you guys want to answer that one. Want to touch it?
Oh God, no.
No.
I think he'd be throwing his players under the bus every time they made a mistake.
Style wise, he would score more points than we are, regardless. But he wouldn't be able to handle Petrus as a quarterback. So he would be in the same boat as Brian. Scott Frost would come in and watch Petrus and go, you can't be my quarterback, right? So it wouldn't help, at all. But if something goes wrong, it would never be Frost's fault. And that would just do what he did to Nebraska. Like, Frost lost the team because he doesn't know how to take accountability. He thinks he's God.
Yeah.
He's perfect. So, I would never want it. Iowa's offense would score more points in his style, but not with Petrus. So technically he'd be in the same boat that Brian's in, right?
But okay. I just want to say
I put money on Kirk.
Oh, yeah, he runs the program. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying Kirk would end up throwing haymakers with Frost. Yeah, I'm money on Kirk.
Yeah. Because his
I don't
word's
know.
final.
Right.
Yeah.
It's I mean, he's not afraid to fire assistant coaches that don't go along with the program. You guys saw what happened a few years ago when he got rid of a wide receivers coach, and I can't remember what other coach. He didn't take
Was it Kaczynski, the D-line coach or whatever, that we got rid of him. He ended up going to Nebraska, I think.
Are you
we
talking
got
about
rid of a wide receiver. We got rid of a wide receiver or a running back coach. I can't
No,
remember
I'm
which.
talking about. We got rid
of
of a Kaczynski, I think was his name.
the defensive line coach. He went to Nebraska, and he sucked there too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and yeah, you're right. That's why we got Campbell at wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have Betts as a running back coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he gets rid of them, but he's stuck on silliness with his quarterbacks.
No, all I was saying was that people say he's loyal to a fault, but if you cross him, he's not afraid to let you go either.
Right. To his quarterbacks, he is, but I cannot wait to find out like what's going on in Iowa City right now. The fact that it's so quiet right now.
Guys, in just about an hour or two, we're gonna see the two deeps for this game get posted. I think everybody's anxious to see. I know what I'm going to see. We're going to see Spencer Petras on the one line. We're not going to see anything different. But that doesn't mean he starts Saturday.
Might there be a slash? It might be
like
Petras slash Padilla,
like the Leo Cash position.
Yeah,
right.
Slash. So
well, did they do a slash position on Logan Kemp? I thought they only put him up there as the only one.
No, it's Cash Leo.
Oh yeah. But when they released the two deeps last week, Logan Kemp, they didn't even put a backup on him. They just put him as the only one.
By the way, if you're Kirk,
they might have added a slot.
Yeah, but if what is the benefit of even if that's the plan? Hey, we're gonna roll with Padilla and just see how it goes. There's no reason to put that on a two deep and have all that extra outside noise about it. If you're going to do it, just come out Saturday and do it.
Right. Guys, we've got to end this right now. We've gotten way too long, but hopefully people will stick with us and watch an hour and 45 minutes.
What are you talking about? Your competitors go 4 hours. What are you talking about?
Who goes 4 hours? Oh, you mean Corey?
Oh, Corey and a couple other ones go 4 hours.
Yeah, but he's got the following to go 4 hours.
No, he just does all his in the evening.
But he doesn't.
Well, he also does a post game live, which he does. It's an instant reaction. Which honestly, trying to go up against some of them other guys is probably a mistake, and especially after Paul's been drinking is not. I wouldn't recommend it.
Just stop drinking.
Hmm?
Stop drinking so you don't have to repent as much on Sundays.
All right, guys. It was a good show. I think it's one of our best shows. I've enjoyed it. It's why I let it go on so long, because I hated to end a good thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, you'll get following doing this too. I mean, they may watch it. I have friends who watch this in like 30-minute intervals regardless. So
well, yeah. What I do with some of my favorite ones, I just put it on YouTube, hook it up to my car, and I just listen to it throughout the day when I'm going somewhere and driving. Turn it off, put it back in when I get back in the car, and
that's what.
Yeah, I never sit down and listen to the whole thing at once, because if I did, I'd be sound asleep and miss the whole show.
All right. Well, yeah, this was a good one. Can't wait till Friday morning.
All right, guys. See you Friday.
Yep.
Yeah. See you guys Friday.
Bye, Terry.
Bye, Terry. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.